Jai Hind class, today we are going to study the poem Macavity the Mystery Cat. It has been written by the famous poet T.S. Eliot. His full name is Thomas Stearns Eliot and he is a very famous poet of the 20th century. Now, although T.S. Eliot used to write for the adult audience, but he had written one book specially for the younger audience, that is children. So this particular poem, Macavity the Mystery Cat, appears in his book Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, and it's a very enjoyable poem. Let's read the poem. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair, for when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare, and when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. So in this particular poem, the poet T.S. Eliot is talking about a cat which commits all the kinds of crimes, and it's a very criminal mastermind. So when the police reaches the scene of crime, Macavity is not there, and he's so smart that he doesn't even leave any evidence of his guilt, of his crime. So the police is unable to catch Macavity. Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. In this particular stanza, the poet is talking about the physical appearance of Macavity, that Macavity is a very tall and thin cat, and his eyes are deeply embedded in the eye sockets, and his brow, that is the forehead, is deeply lined with thought. Macavity is always thinking about his new crimes, he's planning for new crimes, so that's why he's always preoccupied in his thoughts, and he keeps a very shabby appearance. He doesn't give time for his appearance. Why? Because he's always busy in planning for his next crime. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by-street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then Macavity's not there. So again, the poet is highlighting the fact that there is no other criminal like Macavity. He's a very sharp-minded criminal, and he is actually a fiend, a monster in the shape of a cat. And if you meet him in a by street, you will see him everywhere in the street, but whenever a crime is discovered, he won't be there at the crime scene. He's so smart. He is outwardly respectable. I know he cheats at cards, and his footprints are not found in any files of Scotland Yards. And when the larder's looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk is missing, or another peak's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken and the trellis past repair, there's the wonder of the thing, Macavity is not there. So in this stanza, the poet talks about some of the crimes that Macavity has committed. One of the very interesting crimes is that he cheats at cards, in the game of cards, and he loots the larder, and he loots jewelry, and he steals milk, and he even suffocates other people, or he breaks the greenhouse glass. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. He always has an alibi and one or two to spare. Whatever time the deed took place, Macavity wasn't there. So Macavity is so smart that he keeps agents for himself. So all the dirty work is done by the agents of Macavity. And when a crime is committed, Macavity is never at the place, and all his agents are doing the dirty work for him. And they say that the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known, I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat, who all the time just controls the operations, the Napoleon of crime. So Macavity has been referred to as the Napoleon of crime because there's no one like Macavity, and his agents are Mungo Jerry and Griddlebone, who are helping him out in committing all these crimes. Now, one thing to notice here is that although the poet is explicitly talking about a cat here, but he is actually referring to a particular criminal who was prevalent in Britain at that time in the 20th century. And the reason is that he cannot take the name of the criminal directly and write a poem on that, because it's dangerous for the poet also. That's why he has personified a cat and talking about that particular criminal here. Now we will have a look at the literary devices in this particular poem. First is personification. Personification is a literary device when a non-living thing or an animal are given the qualities of a living being. So we can see that the cat has been personified here. Cat is playing at cards, so you know that cats don't play cards. Next literary device is refrain. Refrain is a poetic device when a particular line gets repeated in a poem again and again. So two lines are getting repeated in the poem again and again. First is Macavity is not there, and second is Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. The third literary device used in the poem is simile. Simile is a comparison between two dissimilar objects. So the simile appears in this line. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. So the movements of the cat, the movements of Macavity have been compared to the movements of a snake. And the last figure of speech is alliteration. Alliteration is when a particular speech sound gets repeated in a particular line. So there are many examples. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the hidden paw. So the sound of the letter M is getting repeated in the first line. The next example is, his brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. The sound of H is getting repeated in this sentence. And the last one is, I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone. The sound of the alphabet M is getting repeated. I hope you understood the poem. Thank you.